Ever since you were little, you couldn't wait to grow up. You couldn't wait until you were old enough to drive, to drink, to vote, to sit at the big kids' table, to move out of your shitty hometown and make a name for yourself in the big city. And now you're there. You've made it. But wait, now you have responsibilities? You have a job, you have rent and utilities to pay, you have friends you've been meaning to catch up with for years? You have taxes and paperwork to fill out? Oh yeah, and you have to eat every day. Well, what are you waiting for? That meal isn't gonna cook itself. And neither is the next one, or the next one, or the next one, all the way down the line from now until you die. And sure, you can go out for dinner tonight or order delivery and postpone your cooking schedule for a day or two. But that will only delay the inevitable. Either way, you still have an endless line of meals from now until you're dead that you have to eat. Well, get eating. Those of you who haven't lived by yourselves are probably thinking, what's so bad about having to eat? I love eating. Oh, to be so naive and ugly. Don't get me wrong, I love eating. Actually, I also love cooking. But once you turn that corner from eating and cooking because you love it to eating and cooking because you literally have to, or else you will die, something changes. What was once a glorious thought, I have so many meals in my life, quickly becomes an existential nightmare. Exhausted and don't feel like eating? Too bad. Sick with a raging fever, nausea, and no appetite? Too bad. Go home late from work and now it's 10:45 p.m. and everything's closed and you still haven't eaten dinner? Well, too bad, you still gotta eat. There's no more leftovers in the fridge. I guess you gotta cook something up. What are you gonna do? Not eat? Yeah, that's what I thought. And at first, I thought that delivery apps like Uber Eats and DoorDash would be the solution to this. But actually, it turns out that they're just the solution to charging you the maximum amount of bullshit fees as possible. The thing about cooking is that you can't just skip it like other responsibilities. If you're late on a laundry day or two, you're completely fine. If you're busy today and couldn't get to sweeping the floors, then no worries, you can do it tomorrow. If you're exhausted from a grueling day at work and don't have enough energy to go to the gym, it's all good. You can rest up tonight and go at it hard tomorrow. If you haven't brushed your teeth or showered in the past 2 weeks like me, it's completely fine. Just take the next 2 weeks to reset and get back on the habit then. But cooking and eating, you can't just skip that. I mean, you can just throw together 6 Ritz crackers, a handful of salami, and a fruit roll-up on a plate and call it a meal, but I try to limit myself to doing that to at most 5 times a week. Yeah, I try to eat healthy to make sure my physique is in good form so that I can go to the beach and then be too self-conscious to take off my shirt the whole time. And I think what makes it worse is the frequency. In a week, you probably do laundry once, clean the bathrooms once, sweep the floors once, brush your teeth once, water the plants once. But in a week, you have 21 meals, meaning you likely have to cook between 5 and 8 times, not to mention washing the dishes 3 times per day, not to mention the grocery trip to buy your ingredients, not to mention all of the planning and preparation that goes into making your list and learning how to cook well in the first place. Not to mention having to switch up your meals every now and then because eating chicken with rice and broccoli every single day for 6 months straight tends to get a little bit boring. And after 5 months, you kind of want something different. Oh yeah, and you have to do this week after week after week after week after week from now until you're, dead. Sounds fun, right? But Kobe, then why don't you just meal prep all of your meals? That way it's easier to— Silence, freak. Don't even get me started on meal prep. I know a lot of you fitness gurus out there love your meal prep, and that's fine. You're entitled to your wrong opinion. You're entitled to being completely, utterly, and tremendously incorrect and ugly. You know what? Why am I even wasting my time addressing the meal preppers? Go back to eating your week-old slop like the porks that you are. But if I must address meal prepping does not alleviate any of the existential dread that comes with having to eat every single meal. It doesn't solve any of your issues. You still gotta cook, clean, you still gotta get groceries. And sure, maybe it's more convenient if you get sick during the week, where you'll have leftovers that you can just pull out of the fridge. But to be honest, don't be so sure that that's a good thing. If I know anything, I know that eating the same week-old leftovers that you've been eating for the rest of your entire week while you are sick is one of the worst experiences that you can possibly have on this planet. That shit will taste like actual sewer sludge, and it'll be dry as hell, it'll probably fuck up your throat, and probably end up making you even more sick. And what if you get sick around your meal prep day? Then you're actually so unbelievably cooked out of your mind. You don't have leftover groceries you can use, and every time you do cook, it takes up an entire 6 hours of your day. Now, are you really gonna do all that when you're sick? I don't think so. And I know this because when I used to meal prep, this actually happened to me. And I had to survive on instant ramen and canned corn for a week, which definitely was not good for my recovery. We've been so spoiled by our parents making dinner for us and our school lunches. Well, actually, not our school lunches, because half of the stuff that they serve is cardboard and the other half is also cardboard. That when we enter the real world, we don't realize that something as simple as eating 3 healthy meals a day actually takes nonstop work, nonstop energy, nonstop planning, no breaks, 3 meals a day, 7 days a week for 80 years until we're dead. Not me though, I got at least 200 more in me. Look, I understand that this might possibly be the most first world problem out there, but is it really though? Or is it really a human problem manifesting itself in a different way in the first? Yeah, it's a first world problem. I can already hear the goons out there saying, wow, look at this dumbass complaining about having to eat meals when there are literally kids starving in Africa and there are families in this country that are struggling to put food on the table. And they're not wrong. I'm lucky to even be able to conceptualize this as a problem in the first place. And to be honest, it's less of an actual problem than a passing thought that came about because I have way too much time on my hands ever since I started using TikTok. Every day we cook and eat and clean and cook and eat and clean and cook and eat and clean just to go to bed at night and do it all again tomorrow. It's existentially absurd, this endless stream of meals that will force themselves down our throats whether we like it or not. And still, we can learn to accept the absurdity for what it is and learn to enjoy the process. Even if it may be a hassle some days, it ultimately is a good problem to have. We may not want to cook and eat and clean every single day, but even so, we can still take joy in the process. We will never truly be free from that burden, but that doesn't mean we can't find happiness in the journey. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. And we are happy, for the most part, despite the absurdity of it all, despite our inescapable fates of having to eat every meal every day until we can't eat anymore. So how do we find enjoyment in the process? The planning, the cooking, the eating, the cleaning, all of it. Improve your cooking skills. Learn how to hold a knife, learn how to season your food, learn which flavors go well together and which don't. There's a simple happiness to be found when you work hard to improve at a craft. And being a better cook will improve your planning, and it will increase your enjoyment of the meals that you make as well. Life is too short to cook meals that you don't enjoy eating. Learn what you enjoy, learn how to cook it, and learn how to cook it well. And good cooking skills will also give you the added benefit of helping you finally get a girlfriend. For the first time in your life. Just kidding. You would actually need to talk to girls to do that. Please, for the love of God, invest in something to keep your knives sharp. I know so many people that go along with their day and then just come home and cook with dull knives. And it's horrifying. Not just because the dull knives are more dangerous, but also because it's way less fun. Let me tell you, when I dice my onions like they're butter, I feel like an actual chef in an actual kitchen. I feel like Linguini from Ratatouille with Remy on my head just controlling my mind and body to chop up onions like I'm a fucking machine. It's exhilarating. Good luck out there, my friend. Cooking and eating gets easier the 5,000th time around. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it didn't ruin the meal that you're eating right now. All right, I have to go cook dinner now, but I appreciate you and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.